I want to ask one more question, which is, as I understand it, kind of or not the origin story, but part of the reason that you're doing all this tracking is that you have this goal to get to peak health by the time you're 40. And, I'm someone who's 36. I've been in this kind of kick, so this obviously speaks to me. Talk a little bit about why that is a goal and, I don't know, all the work that you've put in now, which is, I don't know how many years you've been tracking habits and routines.
Yeah, so I've been tracking about 5 years now, basically since I had that kind of moment. I was 30 when I moved to New York, and my all of my 20s, I was like, I never had any concern for my health, and then all of a sudden, I add 20 pounds, and I'm like concerned. So decided that I want to reach peak performance by the time I'm 40, and I want to then maintain that peak performance for another 40 years. And so I then asked myself, okay, what does peak performance mean, and how do you measure it, and so on, and concluded that it is, as a from a health standpoint, you want to make sure that you have really strong body mass and very good bone density, because as you age, if you fall, you don't want to have a fracture, because then that leads to comorbidities and so on. I wanted to have mobility as I age. I wanted to obviously ensure that my internal organs are working well, so I track a lot of biomarkers. And then I kind of designed this program that looks at mobility, looks at weightlifting for body composition and bone density. I do a lot of martial arts, which helps with mobility and so on. So I've kind of designed a program aiming to get to peak performance by the time I'm 40. And then what I've also done is I've created measures for each of the different areas that I want to hit. So basically, obviously for weightlifting, I want to make sure that I'm making performance and like increasing performance. So I do barbell weightlifting, and I measure the weight on the bar. And this year I did 315 deadlifts. I was very happy about that. I measure VO2 max for cardiovascular load, anaerobic threshold. I measure with the lactic threshold test, and so on. And so that's the ultimate goal: reach peak performance by the time I'm 40. I'm 36 too, so I'm kind of like every year chipping away at adding more weight to the bar and improving VO2 max and so on.
I mean, you're doing great if you've got 315 on the bar. So you're headed in the right direction.
Actually, I work with a coach, obviously, and the goal next year is to get to 1,000 pounds across all my lifts. So deadlift, squat, bench, and overhead.
Is that loosely 2 times your weight? I've heard that as like a common benchmark you want to try to hit.
Depends on the lift. On deadlift, you definitely want 2 times your weight. Squats, 2 times your weight. On the overhead press, if you can do 1.5 a body weight, you're in the top 1% of the world. And I'm currently actually at 0.9 of body weight. So I'm kind of working towards one time body weight.